Hello to all the CA Inter students. The much awaited MCQ discussion series has finally begun. In this series, we are going to discuss MCQs chapter wise. This will give you an idea about the kind of questions that can be asked in the exam. We will also discuss a few case scenario based questions. I'm planning to take up case scenario based in the end because it is actually a mixture of all the concepts, so it will be better that we revise the chapter, discuss the MCQs, and in the end, we discuss case scenario based MCQs. Okay? So, in the meanwhile, let us now start by discussing simple MCQs because this is very, very scoring. Students, you have weightage of 30 marks allotted to MCQ. So, out of 100 marks, 30 marks MCQs are asked in the exam. If you are able to score even 20 marks, okay, you need to score just remaining 20 marks in the theory descriptive questions and you will clear the exam. So passing is not a difficulty, but our aim is to pass with excellent marks, so we are working for that. Okay, my aim is that all my students should get above 60 marks, so that is why we are putting in a lot of effort and we are going to discuss MCQs now. Where will you find these MCQs? So please visit the blog section of my website capreetyagarwal.com. So if you visit, if you open the website, students, in the footer, you will find the blog section. Okay, so visit my website capreetyagarwal.com, go to the blog section, and in that I will upload all the MCQs. Okay, so here you will find a list of MCQs which I feel are relevant for that particular chapter. So what you need to do is you need to revise the chapter and then solve these MCQs. Okay, so you will end up revising the entire syllabus and solving the MCQs, and this is a great practice. Okay, so I have selected around 17 MCQs from the first chapter, and we will also discuss a case scenario question. So if you want right now, see, there is no need to revise because it's a very simple chapter. What you can do is you can visit the blog section of my website. Just go to the home page, yes, and scroll down. Okay, scroll down over here. You will find the blog section. Just click on that, and I will be uploading chapter wise MCQs for you. Okay, so first, just pause this video, solve these MCQs on your own, and then let us continue our discussion. Okay, answers you will find in my discussion video only, right? So students, you can now pause the video and solve these questions, and then you can continue watching the session. Okay? So I will give you a target in my video that now next you need to prepare with these two chapters or one chapter that I will decide. But I will give you a target, and for the next video, keep that chapter ready so that you're able to solve the MCQs. All right. So just pause the video and first solve it on your own, and then let us discuss. So, my dear students, I hope you are ready with the solution. Yes. So, let us discuss the answers to the first question. I'm not going to discuss the concept in detail if I feel it's a very simple question. Okay. Where I feel my input is required, I will definitely give you notes, charts, simplify the concept for you, etc. Okay. In Rupali marketing, yes, what is your answer? Now, I am not discussing the full question because I want you to read. I want you to find the answer. I don't want to give you spoon feeding. Okay. So, what is the answer? See, this should be your working. Okay. 193 members are already there. Joint holders are to be treated as one. Now, I'll also show you how to read the question and simplify it. Okay. In Rupali Marketing Private Limited, it is always important that you first highlight the type of company because everything depends on the type of company. So it is a private company, all right. There are joint holders now. In a private company, the maximum number of members is limited to 200. Joint holders, okay, joint holders are treated as one. This is something which you need to recall. They are jointly held by Abir and Abhik. Okay, so they will be counted once. Then Seema and this is also one. Ramesh, Raksha, one. So we have plus 3. So total we have 196 and you can have maximum 200. So there is a scope for adding 4 more members. Okay. So what will your answer be over here? They can induct 4 more persons as members. So this is your answer. If asked in the exam, this will be mostly as a 1 mark question. Sometimes the weightage is 2 marks also, but this will be a 1 mark question. Now, let us proceed. Next question. What is your answer? See, if it is a new company, okay, you are applying for the name for the first time. That name will be reserved. So, new company, I'm not writing new company, I'll write new name. Okay, it's a new name. You're applying for the first time. So the name will be reserved for a period of 20 days. So as soon as the name is allotted to you, within 20 days, you have to adopt that and fill and upload the incorporation documents and fill the form for incorporation. That is the part B of Spice Plus. Okay, if you are an existing company, okay, then in case of existing company, the name is available for 60 days for adoption. So 60 days from the date of approval. Okay, that also you can write. 60 days from the date of approval. Okay, so the name is available for adoption for 60 days. Now, this is, they have made a name reservation for forming a private company. It means it is a new company. They are applying for the name for the first time. So 20 days are available. So they made the application, the sorry, the on 7th of July, it was accorded, it was given. So 7th of July plus 20 days. So the answer should be, latest they should submit their documents by 27th of July. Okay, this is how you will keep on recalling the provisions and then keep making notes. This will also improve your flow of thinking and arriving at the answer. So see how step by step I arrived at the solution. Try to do that. Next, yes, the company passed a resolution. Okay, they received the certificate of incorporation on 20th, but it was issued. It means the date which was mentioned was 10th. So from which date can we consider that the company has entered into the agreement? Yes. The date on which it received, or the date which is mentioned, the date on which it was issued? Yes, the date on which it was issued. Now, you were born on 10th of August and the certificate of your birth certificate was given to your father on 20th. So, when will you celebrate your birthday? Ma'am, of course, the day we were born, the date which is mentioned, and not the date on which it was issued to us. Yes. So that logic is to be applied over here. The correct answer is 10th. If a company changes the name, then the old name will be painted for 2 years. Public company can be formed by 7 or more members. Will such easy questions be asked in the exam? I don't know. But you know, sometimes we make mistake in easy question and we get the difficult question correct. Okay, what is the answer to the next question? All right. Is it a small company? Now, be very careful when you read the question of a small company. In my lecture, I had always told you that first identify the type of company, because small companies benefit is given only to a small sized private company. So Roma is incorporating Roma Trading Limited. It is a public company. So they will not get the benefit of a small company. The concept is applicable only to private company. So in spite of meeting the criteria, it will not get the benefit of a small company. Abhilasha and Amrita have incorporated a non-profit. It is a Section 8 company. Okay. They want to be categorized as a small company. Will they get the benefit of a small company? No, you're already a Section 8 company. You're already getting so many benefits. There are so many privileges given to a Section 8 company. So, in case you are a holding subsidiary company, Section 8 company, you are a company or a body corporate which is incorporated under special act. So even if you meet the criteria, you will not get the benefit of a small company. So what is your answer? That the status cannot be bestowed because it is a Section 8 company. They will not get the benefit of a Section 8 of a small company. Anu incorporated a one-person company and with her sister Alpa as the nominee. They do charitable work, her business and OPC. Now she wants to convert the OPC either as a Section 8 company. Okay. So will you be able to convert? No, you cannot incorporate. You cannot even convert a Section 8 company into OPC. Okay. So she wants to convert OPC into Section 8. No, you cannot even incorporate or convert your OPC into Section 8. But yes, you can convert your OPC into private or public company. So there is a prohibition on conversion. You cannot convert. You cannot even incorporate OPC as a Section 8 company. You cannot even convert. You cannot even incorporate. So option C. Just check whether you are getting the answers correct, and also try to recall the provision just like I am doing. Only then solving this will make sense. If they provide incorrect information, then yes, winding up can be ordered by the NCLT. So NCLT will have to make an application to the tribunal. So they may order that you first try regulating the management, then they will make the liability of the members unlimited. Even if that is not working, they will remove the name of the company from the register, and then lastly, if they are convinced, they will order winding up. Dash cannot be a subscriber, so a minor cannot be a subscriber because he's incompetent to contract. You cannot subscribe. Fully paid up shares can be transferred to a minor. In case of a private company, entrenchment. Okay. Now, in case of a public company, okay, this entrenchment is generally done with the help of a special resolution. If you want to make it later on. But in case of a private company, you need the consent of all. Okay, consent of all. This is mentioned in section 5. So with the consent of all the members, it's a private company. That is why I always tell my students, please, at the time of reading the question, identify whether it is a private company or a public company, and only then continue reading the question. Where a company is granted a license, it is not required to use the word limited or private limited as the case may be. Company is granted license. Okay, this is a repeat question. In this case, A Limited is holding the shares, that is 61%, in B Limited. See how I am breaking this question and how I am writing it in arrow format. I'm simplifying the question while reading. This is one very good trick that will help you to come at the answer by reading the question just once. So A is holding 61% in B is holding 51% in C Limited. So yes, B and C both are subsidiaries. So this is H, this is S, and this is S1. So you are able to establish the relation that S1 is also a subsidiary of H. You are holding through a subsidiary. The company was incorporated, whether the provisions will apply. Okay, it was incorporated in 2000. It was incorporated in 1913. So will the Companies Act 2013 apply? Of course it will apply. Yes, the provisions will apply. It includes all the companies, whether incorporated under this act or any other previous company. Namita Ceramics is having 152 members. They were incorporated with the object. You want to now change the object. Yes, the object can be changed by passing a special resolution. You can alter the memorandum by passing a special resolution. Easy one. Anupam, OPC, Alpana nominee. Asha, this is a repeat question. It was there earlier also. There is a specific prohibition. Let us now also solve the case scenario question. One very important tip that I can give you over here is that read the questions first. Okay, this will give you an idea. And when you read the passage, the case scenario, you will also be able to, relate that this was asked in the question. Let me pay more attention to this, and you will be able to find the answer quickly. So read the questions first. Now, you must have already read the question. And if you have not, I would sincerely request you to please read the question first. Identify the parties. So in this case, we have Mr. Prasad. He is the member as well as the director of the company. Then we have Vijay, who is the nominee, and we have Prasad, who is the director. No, we have Mr. Anand, who is the director. And later on, Shankar was appointed as nominee. It is given over here that Mr. Shankar, he was appointed as the new nominee. Now, let us read the question. With reference to the appointment of Mr. Vijay and Shankar as the nominee, who is eligible? So, any natural person, what are the requirements for member and nominee? Natural person, yes, he must be a natural living person. Must be a citizen of India. Whether resident in India or not, it means even if he is not in India for a single day, he can still be appointed as member or nominee. Okay. Whether resident or not. Here, many students get confused. Ma'am, they have given 120 days. No. Even if he is not in India, he can still be appointed as member or nominee. Vijay wishes to withdraw his consent. What will he have to do? He will have to give the notice. So the nominee will have to give a notice to the member. Okay. And then the member will give the notice to OPC. OPC will then go to the ROC. Okay. So this is the flow that you follow. See, you need not study everything in detail over here. Must have already discussed that. As far as the question is concerned, only this much is important, that nominee has to give it to the member as well as the OPC, because OPC is a separate person. Then OPC will give the notice to the ROC. Okay. In case of change of nominee, if you remember, students, in my lectures I had given you a chart simplifying the provision. My handwritten notes were given to you. Refer that note while you go through this question. Okay. So OPC will then give a notice to the ROC informing about the change of the nominee. They will also file form INC 4 and also give the consent of the new nominee in INC 3. Yes, we had given a chart. I had given you that. Please refer that. So within 30 days from the withdrawal, you will have to give the notice. So B is the correct answer. With reference to the legal provisions, yes, you can be a member in one OPC and nominee in only another OPC. So you can at a time be member in one OPC, nominee in another OPC. So member in one, nominee. You cannot be a member in two OPCs, nominee in two OPCs. Which of this is true? Okay, you are a one-person company, financial statements, although this will come later, but it must be signed by just one director. This is a privilege given to a one-person company. Can a one-person company carry on investment in securities of a body corporate? No, you cannot carry out non-banking financial investment activities and investment in securities of a body corporate. This is not allowed to one-person company. We had discussed this when we were going through the provisions of a one-person company. Okay. So these were the MCQs that I felt were important. Now, students, please note that we have a compiler, that is a compilation of all the past exam questions, study material, RTP, MTP questions arranged unit wise. Answers are given in proper provisions, facts, analysis, conclusion, stepwise format. We have an MCQ smart book. It's a printable PDF that is free with the compiler. Okay, so this is the compiler. When you purchase the compiler, you will get free MCQ booklet. Okay, smart book. In that smart book, you will have more number of MCQs, more number of case study based questions. This is for practice. I have picked up the important ones, but I have also added small other MCQs, case scenario based MCQs. There are more MCQs in this book. Okay, so if you want a more practice, you can refer that MCQ smart book. It is free along with the compiler. Okay, so with this compiler, you will get an MCQ smart book free. I'm leaving a link of the compiler in the description as well as the comment section. For that, you can visit my website capreetyagarwal.com. Now your target for the next MCQ. So tomorrow I will be again uploading the MCQs for chapter 2, that is prospectus and allotment of securities. Although I would like to also discuss questions relating to share capital and debentures, but I feel that prospectus has now new parts like dematerialization and stock exchange, etc. These are certain things on which questions are asked. So I wanted to study all that in detail, and tomorrow please be ready and let us solve the questions of prospectus and allotment of securities. Okay, guys, I will see you tomorrow. Please revise and also visit my website capreetyagarwal.com for lectures, books, and test series.